clear, let us just define three terms that you need to understand to watch this video. One is risk, the second one is returns, the third one is liquidity. Risk is nothing but how much are the chances of you losing your money. That is the risk factor. Returns, obviously, how much are you going to get back over your investment. And third is liquidity. How soon can you cash your investment? How quickly can you get the cash in hand? That is liquidity. Now coming to the investment options. The first option that we are going to see is fixed deposit, FD. Most of us would be aware of FD. This is something that we have seen our parents do for the longest time. FD is a deposit option where you put a fixed amount in the bank as the name suggests. So this could be for 5 years, 10 years, 3 years. It could be starting from 7 days also. So this depends on how much you want to invest and how long you want to invest. When it comes to FD, the higher the tenure, the longer, the higher the returns. Fixed deposit is offered by all government banks, private banks and cooperative banks. The interest rates may vary. In government banks, it is slightly lesser, wherein in private banks, the interest rate is slightly higher. But it depends on where you want to invest. If you want to play it safe, you can invest in a government bank. Otherwise, you can opt for private banks. FD is a low risk investment option, especially if it is a government bank. The returns are slightly lesser, but it is also a low risk option. And you can get the interest, you can collect the interest either monthly or quarterly or at the end of your FD tenure at maturity. So that depends on how you want to collect your interest. One downside to this FD is that this is a lock-in investment, meaning it has to stay in the bank for 5 or 10 years depending upon the tenure that you have put the FD for. If you want to break the investment before that, before 5 years, if you have an emergency and if you need the amount, then you have to pay a small penalty fee for taking that FD before the maturity. Let us say you invest 1 lakh today in SBI Bank for a period of 5 years in FD. The interest rate is somewhere around 6.10%, which means at the end of 5 years, the maturity amount will be 1,35,351. The second investment option that we are going to talk about is recurring deposit, RD. Unlike FD where you have to pay a lump amount in the initial of your investment, in RD, you are allowed to pay every month. As the name suggests, this is a recurring deposit, which means you can pay monthly. You have to pay a certain amount and it could be as low as rupees 10 and there is no upper limit. You can pay as much as you want as long as it is a multiple of 5. So you can pay 5, 10, 15, 20 up to whatever amount you want, but you cannot pay 21 rupees or 23 rupees. It should be a multiple of 5. So think about this. You can pay as less as 10 rupees to start an account, which means anybody who's just begun their career, who has only 500 or 1000 rupees to spare as investment option, this RD would be an ideal place to start. All government banks and post office offers RD, but one of the best places to start RD will be post office because of higher returns, comparatively higher returns. While banks provide 6.2 or 6.5%, RD in post office is 7.2% as of today. The interest rate is 7.2%, which is slightly better than nationalized banks. So while opting for RD in post office, all you need to do is you have to go open an account, you have to go in person, open an RD account, and after that you can pay the money online as well. If you start your RD in the beginning of the month, then every month you have to pay the amount, 1000 rupees or 500, whatever is your RD amount, you have to pay that between 1st and 15th of that month. If you start your RD in the second half of the month, then you have to pay your RD amount between 16th and the end of the month, 30 or 31st of that month. The only problem with RD is if you don't pay your RD amount within that cycle, first half or second half, then you will have to pay a small penalty while paying your payment, while making your RD deposit. So that is one problem that you have with RD. Let's say you can afford 1000 rupees per month. Then for 5-year duration at the rate of 7.2% at the post office, you would have totally paid 60,000 rupees. So your maturity amount at the end of 5 years will be 72,397 rupees. Now, if you pay 5,000 per month at the same interest rate of 7.2% for 5 years, then you would have paid a total of 3 lakh rupees. Now, the maturity amount at the end of 5 years will be 3,61,983 rupees. The next investment option is Public Provident Fund, PPF. Here, you can deposit a minimum of 500 rupees per year to a maximum of 1.5 lakhs per financial year. This is a lock-in investment because this is for 15 years. In this 15 years, you have to deposit that money yearly. You can deposit one shot or you can deposit every month. But you can only deposit a maximum of 1.5 lakh per financial year. Let me tell you how this works. Suppose you invest 1 lakh per year. At the end of 15 years, the average interest rate today is 7.9 to 8%. So let's see 7.9%. So at the end of 15 years, you will get 29 lakhs 7,013. So this will be the maturity amount. And this PPF is tax free, which means you need not pay any tax on the interest as well as the principal amount. This is one advantage of PPF. Now let's talk about the Employee Provident Fund, EPF. This is something that I think you will be aware of if you are working in a company. Most companies offer you the EPF option, Employee Provident Fund option. So this is how it works. You contribute a certain amount from your salary and the employer also matches the same amount, and both of you put this amount towards your EPF. So this gets accumulated, and this is more like a pension fund. So at the end of your employment, you can either withdraw this or you can transfer it to your next employer. So this is how EPF works. This is low risk option and low returns option. There is practically no effort needed because this is deducted by your employer. The next option is the NPS, National Pension Scheme. This is more like a retirement scheme. It's a good option for people who want to plan their life well after retirement. Given that most of us are working in private sectors where we don't have any retirement benefits, I think this is a better option compared to EPF and PPF. Now how this NPS works is you have to open an NPS account and you have to deposit money every year. You can start your NPS from 18 years of age and you can open an account until you are 60. So during your working years, you can start saving in your NPS in this investment option, and at the end of your career, say at 60 years, you can withdraw 60% of the amount, 60% of the lump amount from NPS. The remaining 40% of the amount will be paid only in annuity. You cannot withdraw 100% of the amount, lump amount at the same time. You can withdraw only 60%. The remaining 40% is more like an annuity which will be paid to you. The next investment option is stock market. So when you hear this word stock market, most of the middle class population or working population would be like, no stock market, I don't want to lose my money. Agreed that stock market is not a fail-safe or a low-risk option. This is a highly riskful option. This is a volatile market, but at the same time, stock market is a place where you can multiply your money if you know how to play the game. And this you will learn once you start buying and selling shares. This will require a little bit of patience and there is a learning curve, but stock market is a good option if you have a risk appetite, if you are willing to take calculated risk. So you have to understand how companies work, because stock market is basically buying and selling of shares of companies. So the companies should be good, they should not have any problems. So there are a lot of factors when it comes to stock market, but this is an option where the risk is high and the return is also high. But you also have low risk, low returns, medium risk, medium returns options in stock market. To begin with, you can start choosing that, and slowly once you understand the market well, once you know what works and what doesn't work, then you can look at slightly higher risk options. Now coming to stock market, how to go about it? You have to have a demat account to start buying and selling shares, but this is a vast area. Stock market itself is a huge area. If you want me to do a separate video on how to buy and sell stocks and how to earn from stock market, let me know in the comment section below. I will do a separate video. The next option is mutual funds. So in stock markets, you are the one person who will be taking all the decisions. You will decide when to buy a share, when to sell a share. So you will be doing a lot of work. But in mutual funds, the mutual fund company and your fund manager will be deciding that for you. So they will be investing your money for you, and they will be investing in a lot of options, including equity and debt. So they will invest in stock market, they will invest in bonds, they will invest in a lot of instruments. So you don't have to worry about how to invest, where to invest, when to withdraw. All those things will be taken care by the fund managers, by the mutual fund companies. So you can choose the investment option. You can choose whether you want a low risk investment option or medium risk investment option or a high risk investment option. That is your choice, but all the investment will be taken care by your mutual fund company, your fund managers. When it comes to mutual funds, you can make one-time investment also, or you can opt for systematic investment planning called as SIPs. So either you can invest a certain amount of money one time and wait for the returns. You can wait for 10 or 15 years, or you can invest every month or every week or every quarterly. You can invest certain amount and you can wait for your returns. So you can choose whatever works best for you. And these fund managers, these mutual fund companies work for a small fee. So you have to pay them anywhere between 0.05 to 2% fee for making this investment for you. So that is how mutual funds work. The next investment option is NSC, National Savings Certificate. This is more like a bond. This will be available in post office. All you need to do is go to the post office, buy a NSC certificate. So you will be given certificates for 500,000, 5,000, 1 lakh. So it depends on how much worth of certificate you want to buy. So buy that and keep it safe with you. At the end of your tenure, you just have to go back to the post office, give the certificate and get your returns back. This is a pretty good investment option. If you foresee an expense in 5 years or 10 years, this could be your child's education or your own higher education after 5 years, or your marriage, or any foreseeable expense that you may have, you can have NSC. This is a low risk, good option. The next investment option is perhaps that our grandparents and parents have been doing for so long, gold. Now gold is a decent investment option, but the problem is gold in what format? If you are going to buy as jewelry, then it may not be a safe investment. It may not be a sensible investment, because you have making charges, you have wastage charges, and some jewelers charge you up to 25 or 30% wastage charges. And also the purity of gold is another question. So if you are planning gold as an investment option, it is better to go for paper gold or sovereign gold bonds. So look at other options where gold is used as an underlying asset. Instead of your traditional jewelry, of course you can buy jewelry, you have different purpose for it, but also look at paper gold or options where gold is used as an underlying asset. Those are safer options. Coming to our last investment option, real estate. Now a lot of debate has been going about investing in real estate. Some people, some financial experts say that real estate is a very good investment option. But some people say this is not a wise investment option. So let us not get into too much of whether real estate is good or whether real estate is bad. But the thing is, how you buy your house matters. If you are going to buy a house for your own living, if you are going to live there, if you are going to pay your EMI and if you are going to live there, then you cannot call it entirely as an investment option. Because if you do a lot of calculations, you will understand how much extra you are paying, because the interest that you will be paying will be more than the resale value at times. So that depends on where you buy the house, what is the resale value, the land value that get. So a lot of factors come into play when you buy a property. So be wise when you are buying a property, be it a piece of land or an apartment or an individual house. Be very wise about it. So those are some of the top investment options available in India, suited for working professionals as well as middle class. Now if anybody is promising you 40% returns or 50% returns in 1 year or 6 months, don't get into those kind of traps. That is not possible.